What's going on, everybody? Bobby Fi here. We're going to be talking some NBA. Fire on in any questions, any thoughts. This is it's just to say it's an ugly slate is extremely generous. I really don't know what we're supposed to do this time of year. This on these big slates, like the smaller ones, we can take shots and get creative. The fact that you have 10 or actually 11 guys projected to play for Washington, and they're basically like 9 of them are the top 20 of values, just makes me want to kind of just pick 2 of them. And my 2 are Jordan Goodwin and Johnny Davis. My build is the same as it was earlier. The priorities for me, I didn't do my core and everything like that because we've got, real stuff to go talk about. Look, core plays are going to be Johnny Davis, Jordan Goodwin, one of either Duren or Wiseman. I prefer Duren. And again, I'm still going to get that name right one of these days. I've heard it pronounced so many different ways, and I really love this kid as a player going forward. It's hard to bet so much on teams with so little to play for. One guy I love, I wish they would have announced the Giannis thing a little bit later, because I don't know if it'll get attention, but my get weird play is Bobby Portis today. Obviously a former Bull. Unfortunately, it's no longer a get weird play because he's now the chalk. So everything I'm doing is really hard to stay away from some chalky spots. And there's just so many teams without stuff to play for and other teams that are desperate to win. Because of that, I'm siding with Luka in terms of a spend up. I think LeBron has a sneaky spend up. The Lakers have lost 10 straight to the Clippers. It probably will be 11 tonight, but I like LeBron if I was going to go a very weird direction on spend ups. And I think that's where you make your money today. One thing that's not showing up yet is, well, I guess it is now. Finally, they announced him out. I think that the projection is too low on Tyus Jones. I like Tyus Jones at 5,900, another priority play for me. So there's 4 basically. That's half of your lineup. The other thing you're doing is, let's talk about some of these other guys. The Knicks situation. I like Obi Toppin. He's my favorite Knick. I don't feel comfortable with any of them, but he is my favorite one. I think he's got tremendous upside here tonight. RJ Barrett, I like a little bit less. I like Quickly a little bit less, but I like the idea of getting to some Obi Toppin. What else do we have here? I'm just looking through my builds. I don't know what to do with the Atlanta situation. They're kind of in a must win, but it's a team that they're trying to play as must lose. And earlier in the day, I was very into Saddiq Bey. I might even continue with that. That's one way I can get a little bit lower ownership. You still have Trey and Bogdan questionable. If they both play, very hard to think Saddiq Bey is a great play here, but I think he's a reasonable. They're giving him run down the stretch. I just don't know if with both those guys playing that he's that great of a play at 5,500 with his current price. But I think he's fine enough. So I'm going to take some shots on him. Trae Young at 8,700 is probably a better play than he's getting credit for. The problem is you have Luka, Tyus, and Jordan Goodwin, all point guard only, and I have those guys a little bit higher rated. Certainly you could reshuffle things a little bit, but that's what I'm doing. Is mostly like I'm considering Trae, but I just don't think I can quite get there. So that's where I'm at. But fire questions in because I don't have a whole lot to talk about. Oh, Barrett's now out. Well, I like Toppin even better then, and I'm gonna have to reshuffle the Knicks. I mean, this is such a stupid slate. Like, if you're getting heavy money invested on this slate, I think you should really reconsider what you're doing because it's just so stupid. Like the slate in general. Teams playing, trying to lose, teams playing with nothing to play for, and then the few teams that have to win have everybody healthy, so it's harder. It's just this whole thing is disgusting. Just hate the slate, hate everything about it, hate playing NBA right now. Very focused on the Masters more than this. But I'll answer any questions and talk about anything. I just don't have anything that seems all that interesting. Josh Hart obviously is now a good play. No Tatum. Okay, great. We got that for the Celtics with no reason to win. I knew Tatum was out. Doesn't really do a lot for me. Bad matchup and no motivation, little motivation, I should say. Maybe you could play Jaylen Brown, Derek White would be the two guys I would look to. If you want to use the value pieces, be my guest, not for me. Just hate this. Just go ahead and ask questions because I am not interested in this slate. I'm playing it strictly because we have a live sweat show. I just hate everything about it. I don't think there's any real massive edge that I figured out except for fading some of this Washington stuff. It's like if I was max entering, maybe there'd be ways I could talk about it, but I just hate everything on this slate. I really do. I don't like these NBA this time of year, but I'm here to do my job, so I'm happy to answer anything. Who did I say was my core? LeBron is not my core. He's an interesting pivot to get off of some chalkiness. My core plays right now are Luka, Goodwin, Davis, Obi Toppin, one of Durant, Wiseman, Tyus Jones. Those are my core plays. I do think Bobby Portis can easily be mentioned in that conversation as well. That's my core, and I don't want to say I'm sticking to it. It's my core, and I don't feel great about it, but that's what I'm doing. Mathurin on DK, sure. Why not? Sure, Mathurin's okay. Yeah, it is what it is. I'm not excited about it, but yeah, if you want to play him, it's fine. Nothing stands out to me as that being like an especially good play. If he gets hot, great. Portis revenge again. Yeah. I wish it was in Chicago, but unfortunately Portis is now going to be chalky. I liked him earlier when I thought that he wouldn't be. And I thought maybe they would play like Giannis 15 minutes to keep him in the flow or something. And I was like, oh, I'm going to get Portis here at no ownership, and not going to happen. What else do we have here? Of all the other Washington value, I think I would side with Kendrick Nunn as my third favorite, ahead of Jay Huff and Xavier Cooks. It's just really ugly. And you know what? Let's have the NBA be better. How about you have to announce who's playing by 3 Eastern without a substantial injury, an injury enough to where the player's at least questionable for the night. I don't know what the rule would be, but it has to be something better than this. The NBA, fucking FanDuel owns part of this. Hate this shit. Horrible, horrible slate. Trying to think of other ways to get different. Let's talk about that because that's maybe your best chance at having a chance to get a little unique. No one will play Sabonis. That's interesting. Kawhi, Sabonis. Kawhi's not even going to be that low owned. LeBron, Trae Young, all of those guys are the guys I would be looking to maybe spend up for outside of the super chalk. 5,900 left on FanDuel. Murray or Nwora? Neither for me. I don't even know which Murray you're talking about. I guess you're talking about Keegan Murray. Nope, not for me. It's fine. Yeah, it's whatever. Just hope he makes 7 threes again. That's basically his route, and not a good FanDuel player. Maybe Nwora. Yeah, I guess Nwora would be my preferred of the two, but I don't really like either of them, to be honest with you. Is Goodwin, Davis, Nunn too much or only two? I think that's okay, MJ. The problem is then you get position cross. So Nunn would be my third favorite, but if I was playing Goodwin and Davis, he would not be my third favorite. He'd be my sixth favorite. If I was already playing Goodwin and Davis, because the odds of them running all 3 of those guys out together for that many minutes and all of them being productive seem low to me. So I would rather play Cooks or Huff if I'm playing already Davis and Goodwin. Nunn is my third favorite just overall. But he's because of the crossover positions, I think I would probably prefer Huff or Xavier Cooks. And on FanDuel, let me just pull up FanDuel and see if you've got another play it's got to be small forward only, huh? Kind of left yourself in a hole. Let's see, young God. I love I like this young God guy. He's been great. He's been in our Discord. We're glad to have him aboard, and I'd love to be able to be more excited. But you guys know my biggest priority is always to be real. It's if you have if 5,900 left on FanDuel, I would play Matherin, and I think that Nwora would be next for me. My day is going great with the Masters, but I have very little. I mean, great with like building my Masters lineups. I'm starting to get what I want. I'm feeling pretty good about it. I'm really pumped about having a weekend full. I'm taking the weekend off for a change. Even no dad duties. I'm going away with my girl and gonna have a little bit of time, up north. That's gonna be fun. But I am just so spent on these type of NBA slates. I cannot wait for the playoffs. And usually I'm the guy who's finding the edge in these spots. But like, I just don't think that I mean, it's going to be a grind. Like everything that's, fortunately, there's not a huge amount of time between lock times. I wish what they did this time of year is they'd start all the games at the same time. That would be ideal, but that's not going to happen. Davis versus Goodwin. That's a good question, Kobe. Always a good question. I think that I would lean Davis, like you said, because then you could play Davis with none, but I would be playing two of Washington most of my lineups. I think that's pretty safe to say. And also you get an extra 30 minutes in case other stuff breaks. But yeah, I think that I prefer Davis just because they're definitely trying to give him the run. And we don't really know what Goodwin is but at least with the lottery pick, you're going to give the guy a chance finally. I think that's probably the answer. But it's very close between those two. If you ask me who I expect to have a better game, I expect Goodwin to have a better game, but not by much. And I think that Davis also isn't point guard only eligible. I like the point guards, as I've said already tonight. I like Luka, I like Trey, and I like Tyus Jones. So those guys. So the idea that you could maybe get off Goodwin kind of is appealing to me, and I'm sort of here for it. So I like that idea. I'm in. I'm in on Davis a little bit ahead, even though it feels really gross to say because I don't know what Johnny Davis is. He looks like a guy who you would cast in a movie about basketball players, but wasn't really a basketball player. Like, I don't know what's up with him. Like, also the name sounds like I mean, it's like a baseball name. It's like, oh, John Davis is up from whatever. What in the hell is this guy? Like, I don't know. I still am iffy on even what I think about him talent-wise. I do think there's some real talent there, but like there is with everybody in the NBA. I do want to mention that Josh Hart is going to look like maybe the play of the slate now, along with Toppin. How can I get Josh Hart and Toppin in? The thing about the Knicks you have to remember, though, here is, first of all, Josh Hart has a wide range of outcomes. Always. I love him, and I love the player, wide range of outcomes guy. And the Knicks don't really have anything to play for except, like, I guess they'd have to lose out and have the Nets win out, and I think they still have the tiebreaker. I'm not 100% sure on that one. So I don't think the Knicks are playing for anything, which scares me, makes me want to play Toppin, makes me a little bit more hesitant to play Josh Hart. If that makes any sense to you. But those guys are really popping now, so it's worth mentioning. Can we find some creative Knicks others? You know what I mean? Maybe that's something we can do. What about, no, I just can't find anything I like here. It's really weird. There's like this, oh, you know what it is? You know what might be the play? Maybe Miles McBride. That would be like, a shooting guard in your Goodwin lineups. Maybe Miles McBride. You know what? I think I'm selling myself because I actually think that there is the upside, and the Knicks with nothing to play for. What if McBride plays like 26 minutes tonight? Can he get to 30 at 3K? I think he can. And I think that's really possible. Like, I think it's actually possible that he plays more than that, but it's also possible that he plays like 6 minutes. And it's also possible that they let Derrick Rose have like a few minutes. No, I don't think they'll do that. I don't know. I'm just trying to figure them out. Very tough. But I do think McBride, maybe that could be that sort of made me go, so maybe that's what I do. Maybe that's my way of getting different here, is maybe using Miles McBride, playing the Knicks don't have anything to play for angle, and then rolling from there. What do you think about that? I think that sounds pretty interesting to me, at least. I think that's something I can get on board with. And then it leaves me with a funny price tier in the other range. I don't know why they made an OG so much, but like I can't find another play. I think leaving some money on the table is fine tonight. Man, I really hate this slate, which means I'm probably every time I complain like this, I always end up doing well. But I don't even know what McBride does. Like, what does McBride even do for me? And am I reaching with? It has to be one of Duran or Wiseman. Huge upside, but certainly there is a downside to the Duran thing. Kind of feels weird to play. I think I'm going to play the Duran thing. Yeah, so just kind of, what if I play Trae instead of Luka? Because I do think Luka's getting 70 tonight. I think you can, and Trae with a Q tag, is he he's just not a good basketball player. He's not a good NBA player. He's a great street ball player. He's not really a good NBA player. Anybody who tells you different is wrong. He's not a good shooter. He just shoots from a long distance. Trae Young is just not a very good basketball player. Let's put it that way. All right, let's see. Who is my must play on FanDuel? All right, I'll go to FanDuel. Here we go. Let's see. It's going to be very obvious who the must plays are. And then I'll answer Clay's question. I'm not giving you a build for FanDuel because I'm not playing anything on FanDuel. So I can't give you a build of the lineup that I didn't even play. That would be pretty shady of me. I don't think anybody's a must play on FanDuel. The guys who would be the core would be Johnny Davis, Quickly, Tyus Jones. I do like Nwora better over there. Those would be my core guys. I wouldn't have a huge core. I think Luka maybe would be the other one. But I don't have a build for FanDuel. I'm not gonna speak to something I don't have anything of. So kind of impossible for me to do that one there. Can I do this? Can I get away with it? You know what? I'm playing a couple big lineups. Can I get LeBron and Kawhi in for the late night hammer? Not quite. I can almost do it. Just looking right on the cusp of it. Ugh. Jaylen Brown also now with no Tatum, but like, what are they really playing for? Because they're basically they're only 2 games up. They should be able to win this game. Maybe not. I don't know, actually. Maybe Jaylen Brown. I think Jaylen Brown is maybe the one I can go with. And then I get stuck in the Kawhi versus LeBron versus Sabonis at the end. I do think Kawhi is like the general right answer, but maybe specifically today, maybe it's LeBron's turn. Although I think I'm going to sucker out and go with Kawhi. Can always make a pivot. I hate my builds right now. For those of you guys saw my early build. It's not really much different. Just a gross slate. I am going to do the Jaylen Brown thing and say whatever. 90%. No, I think Luka's fine, man. If you're getting 90%, if there's a percentage we're talking, man, I would just say like don't play much basketball tonight. Like if you don't have an angle, don't do it. Yeah. Oh, Kobe asked the question that I said. I am now playing McBride in my big buy-in lineup. So yes. But yeah, this is not my favorite slate. So I'm going to let you guys ask any more questions you have before lock, and we will be do a live sweat show, which is really going to suck and be mostly Masters. 21 on. Okay, cool. That's Eric. It's cool, Eric. I think that's smart. Like just. If it was like a 4-gamer, I would get like maybe more invested because I could get like there's just so many things. Look at all the guys right now, the highest projected scorers. Let me just read this to you. This is actually crazy to me. I mean, Luka is going to play, but he's technically questionable, probable. Anthony Davis, technically questionable, probable. Probable Kyrie, questionable Trae, questionable LeBron. And those are like 5 of the top 11 projected scorers. So we're just speculating right now, guys. Hey, I appreciate that, Brandon. Always good to see you no matter what. No matter what, we'll sweat some lineup builds for the Masters. I mean, look, this might be one of my heaviest golf betting weekends ever, and I'm definitely going to go for it here. So I'm ready to get into that. Jay Huff, sure, 35%. That seems about right to me. But I just want to warn everybody about the Washington thing. They have enough bodies to use They have 11 guys projected to get at least a minute. That's a lot. It's not like they're playing with 9 guys like Detroit is tonight. So yeah, I mean, all those guys are fine point per dollar on DK, but nobody who I'm actually trying to get in outside of Goodwin and Davis. Those are my 2 core ones. And actually, speaking of that, I'm going to probably have to change my main build here because I have no second Washington guy, and I would like to have a second Washington guy. And maybe the answer is, so gross. I don't think I need a second Washington guy. I'm just going to leave it. Whatever. I've got no correlation. The only guys I've got together and from one game are McBride and Toppin. That's my way of getting different, I guess. We'll see what happens. This is just. Okay, came in late. Priority to. Oh my God, man. Look, Sabonis is yeah, sure, maybe. Like we're just speculating on speculation, but like I don't like Sabonis isn't even questionable. So you're just sort of guessing that Sabonis sits. That doesn't mean anything to me anyway. Like, sure, Trey Lyles and Alex Len and guys like that you could play, but like I don't think it's like becomes like a lock or anything. Maybe you play them, but I don't think it's like a lock. I went through my priorities. I hate the whole slate. It's impossible to talk about priorities. It's like one of those things that have to be reevaluating every 10 minutes basically. But right now, my priorities are one of Goodwin or Davis or both, one of Wiseman or Duren, Tyus Jones, Bobby Portis, Obi Toppin. That's it. Then you figure the rest out. Yeah, so play some. Well, yeah, but I mean everybody's low owned. Let's not do that thing. I hate when people. It's such a roto grinders thing, and it's something that I don't want to talk shit about them all the time. But first of all, have some people on the air who actually win tournaments and play, not guys who just are there, whatever. There's a couple guys they got, but not many. Also, like, what the hell? Like, I don't know. Like, yeah, Sabonis is totally injured. So is LeBron. So is Kawhi. Then none of them are going to be owned particularly. Kawhi will get a little bit, but not much. I just don't like it. I mean, I don't dislike Sabonis. I just don't like what I like about the Sabonis idea is you can play him with Luka and then hope like things go a certain way, and it's a good matchup. So I'm definitely fine with Sabonis, but it's not like, oh my God, this guy's only this percent owned. It's just going to be like that with every pay up outside of Luka, basically. Yeah, the late games, but Eric, this is a figment of your imagination. Another big roto grinders misconception that they feed people about this late night hammer. It means nothing what time the game starts. Nothing at all what time the game starts. It doesn't. You don't need to have someone in this or that. Trey is officially available. Okay, good to know. I think Trey takes a little bit of a priority step in a must-win game, kind of, but he's been terrible, and they're better without him doing much. Toppin there's no such thing as a must-play, Remo. I never, ever said that. I absolutely did not say that on this slate. No, Toppin is not a must-play, but I am playing Toppin in all my lineups for what it's worth. Yeah, Toppin would be he's my favorite Nick, and he will be in the most of my lineups of any Nick. To answer that one. Otherwise, I'm just answering questions, guys. I'm sorry if I seem grouchy. I hate this. I want this to be like a real competition and not just some sort of clicking buttons, which is what it feels like to me right now. And I've gone through it too. Yeah, that's right, Eric. I love it. No such thing as locks. Every now and then, like Ty. The weirdest part is the closest guy. I am locking in right now because I'm not playing that many lineups. So I am playing Toppin and Tyus Jones in all my lineups. If there was one guy I wanted to play as a lock, it would be Tyus Jones, more than anybody. I just think that I'll take the fact that he scores 50 like most of the time when he's got this opportunity. So roll me some Tyus Jones. I'm good with it. Otherwise, guys, I'm probably going to get out of here, be in the Discord. We're going to talk. I'm going to post some other builds for my PGA stuff. The core is really tough for me with PGA because I'm really deciding between like 40 something golfers. I could list like 5 of them for you. Let me know what's best for you. But I think seeing my early lineup builds is probably the best case you're going to get, because I'll show like literally like 40 lineups in the premium chat. And we'll do that a little later once I have them fine tuned. I want that. That's funny, Eric. I like it. He's going because he knows as well as I do. And it's not like I'm trying to trash them. This is a great company that did some great things for the industry. They've completely gone off. And by the way, what the hell is happening at Run Pure? Everybody's leaving Run Pure now. Kind of, I don't want to do the victory lap, but I saw it coming. I did see it coming. And no, I have no interest in to people who have written me say, hey, you should go try and get these guys. No interest in having anybody from Run Pure here. The only one I would ever consider is JSU Rab, and we are not on the best of terms because of their Run Pure, which actually feels like, I don't want to even get into their shit. It's pretty interesting. I couldn't deal with let's just say some of the overall inhumane takes that some people from that company had. And even some of those people, I'm not going to name names, are recently gone. Anyway, guys, I appreciate all you guys. You guys have been with us through the NBA. It's going to be a blast during the playoffs. We're going to figure out coaching decisions, how we can analyze, how we can project who might do this, who might do what. Remember, like sometimes the guys who are really important parts of teams don't even get to play. Like Steven Adams, who's like the big missing piece this year for Memphis, and I don't even mean to do that so sarcastically, he was played off the court in the playoffs, multiple times in the past. It's just going to be weird. So we're going to be able to try and figure out some sneaky ways to figure out some adjustments. Yeah, but by the way, I do like Tambo for what it's worth. I think I've done one show with him or met him one time, but I've always liked him. I think Hoop is a terrific DFS player and just kind of a god-awful, like one of my least favorite human beings alive. Like I just think he's a horrible person. I don't know about that. That's too extreme. I just don't like him at all as a person. Let's put it that way. Which is fine. These are guys who literally tried to actually get their customers to come and fire away in our chat and literally try it. They're like, let's do our thing to take Bobby down. We're going to take Bobby down. I'm like, wow, you just bunch of lunatics over here. So I'm really happy not to be talking to those guys anymore. And I'm sorry almost that I even brought it up, because I'm just doing it because I'm kind of bored right now. And there's not really a whole lot more to talk about with the NBA until we get official starting lineups, any sort of speculation, any coach speak is interesting. But right now, kind of an ugly NBA slate. But I do like the idea of using McBride to get different. I think that's the way you go, things like that. Or you find spend ups that aren't being used, as you mentioned, Eric. The Sabonis is one of them. LeBron is one of them. Kawhi will be a little more owned, but he's one of them. Kyrie is one of them. These are all guys who can get there in a big way. And that's the way I think you differentiate, because I don't think the value is like awesome or that we know what it is. That's why I'm prioritizing Goodwin, Davis. But I just think that it's all like, if any of these guys like had like 5 fantasy points at the end of the night, I wouldn't be surprised. If any of them had 50, I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not playing many lineups. I'm playing like two variations off my big one. And I do have Kawhi in my biggest buy-in right now, which is subject to change depending on what happens. And honestly, the more I think about it, I'm not even sure that that's right. I just know it's a really big game. And I just feel good about Kawhi, who, by the way, for what it's worth, we all talk about, and this goes back to the LeBron being the GOAT argument. I guess I can talk about this kind of stuff. LeBron, how are you the GOAT when you're consistently outplayed by a good portion of players in your generation? Kawhi has always outplayed LeBron when they've played each other. Now, he didn't always have the same role, so LeBron might have put up more numbers, but Kawhi always outplayed him. Let's see. Going into currently, people still act like LeBron is one of the best 5 guys in the NBA. LeBron is no longer one of the 10 best players in the NBA. Fact. Not even a question. Josh Hart, yeah, he's the chalk, Steph, but I'm fine with it. I wouldn't trust the Knicks, though. And Hart is a guy with a wide range of outcomes who's going to be probably 60% owned. So while I'm fine with it, I am personally not playing him. All right. Anything else before we get out of here? Or just I'm just spouting out stuff. I had to have a kombucha. Like, this is my 3rd day having drinks in the last 6 weeks. So tonight is one of them. I'm just gonna chill and have some fun. 4th day. Excuse me. No, LeBron. The Lakers are trying to win the title. Don't make any mistake about it. The Lakers believe they can win a title. They're trying to do it. Good luck to them. It's my team, but this is not my team. I honestly find myself pulling for Russ all the time. I felt like they did him really dirty. I do like the move they made to get rid of, because they really built that's what you needed. You needed to have guys like Vanderbilt and Beasley, and I hate D'Angelo Russell, so I'm not going to say good things about him. I think he's the most overrated player like in the NBA. But I do think that getting the Beasley, Vanderbilt, and Schroeder and having the pieces intertwined just makes a little more sense. And they just really did Westbrook wrong there. But yes, LeBron is going to stick around and play for his kid, but he's not like he's not trying. This guy's going out there playing, busting his ass, trying to get them to win. And he's going to keep doing so. I'll make some playoff predictions, by the way. I still like the odds me and Sheets got on the very long shot of the Clippers and Philly. I think that Philly is my favorite sneak. Like, they were my favorite team before the year. Not that I think that they're most likely to win, just that I could see them in a 4 out of 7 being really, really tough to beat. That's my argument for Philly. That's it. The ends there, starts there, ends there. They're going to be tough to beat in a 4 out of 7. I believe in the talent. I also believe, like, if Harden and Embiid I think Maxey can win you a game. I think DeAnthony Melton is super underrated. I think Tobias Harris is a very good, as Tobias Harris is like your 4th, 5th best player, you're a really good basketball team. Tobias Harris is anywhere in the top 3, you're a terrible basketball team. He's not in the top 3, so they're okay. And I like some things. I think Doc Rivers is a terrible coach. Not terrible. I'd say he's on the bottom half of coaches in the NBA. If Ty Lue was still coaching that team, I would feel very, very good about putting significant stacks of money, more than I put already, on Philly to win the title this year. And I do think Milwaukee's the best team. I just put money on Philly because I think they're going to be tough to beat in a 4 out of 7. The A's lost today, man. Eric, they were hot for 1 game. You forget that they scored 11 runs and they lost the game. They lost the game, my friend. Yeah, the A's are not going to be there at the end of the year. For what it's worth, the Braves are really good. And if there's a really long shot team that I like this year, I like a little bit of what's happening in Pittsburgh. I think there's some talent there. But these are just super long shot playoff bets. Like, not like even, I don't even like that as like a no serious contenders, just like potentially make the playoffs. They scored only 4 today. I know you can't get 11 every day. It's too tough to do. Let's see. Yeah, this is so funny. Like, I'm just reading back through some of our older chat. Oh, that's funny, from Kobe. But I love doing the NBA with you guys, and I'm excited for the playoffs. People think that there's not much. Dude, I have not had a losing playoff season in NBA. I don't know if I ever have. And last year, I think I chopped first place 3 times and won 1 solo for $50K. And the 3 that I chopped were all chopping for 50 or 100. So it was a beautiful playoffs for me, and I'm excited about that. Oh, no, look, teams are going to score runs. That's what happens. Scoring 4 runs, though, is not runs. Like, that's not like a real game. Like, that was like their projection today. What is happening with this? Let me see. Looks like I may have forgotten to send something. Oh, maybe. Yeah, I did. Let me see. Hold on 1 second. Okay. Gotta do something real quick here. And I'm out of here. So if there's any questions, I'll answer them, but I got nothing more to add. I don't even understand these packages that I'm supposed to use. Like, all right. Good luck to everybody today. I got nothing else to add. And